What's up, everybody? So welcome back to my channel, Green Man Grow 7. I'm Sean Knight. What's up, Plant Nation? Today, the Dieffenbachia Panther. So this is a dump cane. You know, for those of you who may not know, Dieffenbachia is the proper name, I should say, for the plant, and it is a panther because of the leaves. Look at that. It's not the traditional dump cane that we're used to, but it's a variegated difference. And the unique thing about this plant, so you see how pronounced the underneath of the leaf is, and then look at the top portion. It hasn't gotten there yet, but what I've noticed with having this plant and it growing in my home is the more this plant receives light, proper indirect light, not just sitting in the sun because it would burn the leaves of this plant, but the more it receives indirect bright light, the more pronounced the top portion of the leaf is that coordinates with the bottom portion. And you would think it would be the other way around, right? But look how beautiful that leaf is. So it just lets you know that through time, through giving the plant the proper light and water requirements, and it being in the proper place in your environment, this is what you're going to get. And I've noticed so far, so if you can see, each leaf is a little different. So you have this leaf here that's a little more pronounced than this one, and then you have one that is not as pronounced, but quite nice, right? This is a beautiful plant. I love tropical plants. You'll see a lot of tropical plants on my channel, because that's one of the things. It's not the only thing that I like, but I'm a very huge component of tropical plants, bringing that jungle vibe into your home, so to speak. And so as a result, look at that. Just look. So that's what I'm aiming for. I'll keep you updated on how this plant progresses and allow you to see it going from this to the top portion of the leaves looking exactly like that. That is so striking to me. And one of the things that I want to say is, and there's nothing wrong with it, but we're also into the variegated this and the variegated monsteras and the variegated this and that. These plants were the first plants that our parents had. My mother didn't have this plant, but she had a version of the Dieffenbachia, the dump cane, in her home, in our house, when I was a kid, and I just remember seeing that plant all the time. And so when I saw this a while back, I just had to have it. I was like, what is that? And when I found out it was a dump cane and they call it the Panther, now I understand. And that leaf, I'll just bring it a little closer to the camera so that you're able to see and really take in how striking that is. And so another thing I want to say, if you hear any noise in the background, please just forgive it. With the heat index in Chicago today, it's 102, and so trying to film without air on is a little challenging. And so the air conditioner is not on, but there is the ceiling fan, so you may hear the ceiling fan, ooh, ooh, ooh. So just to let you know that's going on, but look at that. Now I want to say this plant is, like we say with most plants, I said this in other videos for other plants, toxic. The difference in this plant though, this plant sometimes at the edge of the leaf will secrete this sap. You'll see it. And I'm going to tell you two reasons why I'm telling you this. First of all, it's toxic, but the other reason is sometimes we have our plants on tables and then we'll sit, you know, maybe we're eating or we'll have a glass of something. Don't do this around this plant, because you'll get to see at the tip of the leaves there is this sap. It's not water, but it's sap that comes out. The sap is toxic, and if ingested, what happens is it can close up your vocals, it can close up your breathing, and so that would happen for your kids, that would happen for your pets. So just wanted to give you that as an FYI. But look at that, that's just beautiful. So again, it's just me bringing another beauty, presenting, just saying, you know, this is something that I wanted to present. And another reason, and I don't want anyone to mistake what I'm saying, I think that all of the exotic plants, because I have plenty of them in my home, I am a collector of plants, are wonderful, but sometimes we look past things like this looking for something that's exotic, where we want from a foreign land and everything. But look how beautiful. What we would call a common house plant. Nothing common about it at all, right? How beautiful that is. I just love everything about it. And then I have a new saying. You know, I try not to swear that often, so you'll hear me say something like, what the Dieffenbachia is going on? That's my new thing. Just want to say that. Put that out there so you'll hear me say that. But look at that. And another thing with water requirements, I've noticed about this, if you can see, the stalk is quite thick. So this plant, once it drinks water, it stores water within the stalk, which means that even if you notice that the soil is starting to dry up, be conscious of how much water you've given it prior to about to give it some more water, because it is going to be holding some of the water in the stalk. And if you give it too much water, what will happen is it'll feel the effects of that, and then you could kill the plant. And you'll be like, but I only gave it a little bit of water. But you have to remember that it's holding some within the stalk. So I have to do that to remember. The soil requirements is like any other tropical plant, where it needs something that is fast draining, something that drains and not holds on to all of the water, but it's able to absorb what it needs, and the soil being loose so that it can just have that water to flow. I talked about that in another video, how the water needs to go over the bark, go over those chunky pieces that we put in the soil or non-soil that we utilize for some of our plants, to allow it to absorb what it needs and release. If we're using too much compacted soil, then it's going to hold on to too much water, because the soil will absorb it and then hold on to it with the roots, and then the roots will drown. But yeah, there you go. Look at that baby right there. I don't have a name for this one. You know, I try to name some of my plants. Some of them I just give them the name of, you know, that they came here on the planet with. But this is so striking to me. And these will grow as trees if you have the right requirements. And as they grow up, you keep repotting them, then they will grow tall. I have an actual other one that's on a pole that's growing quite tall. And so I want this one to grow really tall in the loft here, so that I am able to look at it as a tree, walk past it, and it's bigger than I am. So, Dieffenbachia Panther today. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you those who have watched my videos. I am so appreciative. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification so that you are aware when I hit another video and it's uploaded. Peace. Thanks.